Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will build a simple but fun app which will give us some trivia about any number. Basically, user will input a number and we will fetch trivia about that number using an API. So we're going to use ReactJS with Vite.js, TailwindCSS along with ShadCN UI and Axios library to make API calls. So by the end of this video, you will learn about setting a React app with Vue.js, integrating Tailwind CSS and ShadCN UI with Vue.js, making API calls using Axios, handling user inputs and events with React.js. So if you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an update. So, so to start with, I want to show you what we are going to create. So here is the application, and if we enter any number, press enter, it will show a loader and then it will fetch the trivia and will display the trivia about that number. So this will give a good idea about setting the things up with React.js and Vite.js and make API calls. So let's get started. So now first let's start a new project. So I'll create a new project with Vite and I'll name it as number trivia. I'll use React. We'll go with JavaScript. Yes. Let's get into that number. Get in, get into the folder. Uh, let's run yarn first. So it will just install the necessary packages of React.js and all the default uh, packages. And yeah, it is done. So now first let's add Axios and then we will go to ShadCN UI where docs installation guide with Vite. So we have done this. We need to follow this step. So let's add these dependencies. These are dev dependencies. And what we need to do afterwards, we need to run this command. So yeah, until that is done, we will run this. So this creates Tailwind config and post CSS config. Now we have to create a JS config file because by default it will, as we have not used TypeScript, so it will not create a config file for config file in our project. We have to create it. So yeah, let's open the project in the editor, and now we will have to first create a JS config.json file. And what we need to do is we need to pass the compiler options and we need to just paste this. Now what we need to do, we are done with this. TypeScript we are not using, so we don't need types. We need to update this. So I'll maybe just copy this and we need to update uh, vite.config.js. So vite.config.js, we just follow this. No, nothing else. This will get resolved because this is showing because of my editor. Okay, this is done. So we are done with that. Let's add initiate the ShadCN. We're not using TypeScript. Default slate. We will use index.css. Yes. Okay. Tailwind config is in the root folder. Okay. We're not using a server component. Okay. So this is also done. ShadCN is also initiated. We have the components JSON here. We have the component folder lib folder with the UT of the CN class, CN function basically. That is done. And in the okay, index.css is not updated. Let's do one thing. Let's update it. I'll copy it and I'll paste. So this what this does is basically it just imports the required components from Tailwind and also add a base root layer of ShadCN. So these are the default uh, for theme CSS variables. So I've copied it from ShadCN, and that is if we go to themes, this is blue is selected. So that is why once I copy this, so this is the same thing I have copied it from here. So now what we need to add few components from ShadCN. So let's add ShadCN, add, and we'll select from the drop down. So we need alert, we need button, and what we need input, and also we need skeleton. So alert to show the trivia, button and input already know why. Skeleton to show the loader of like once that when the trivia is getting loaded, so we'll show that loader first. So this is why we have used it. I'll just close this. We don't need that now, and I will start the app here. Okay, let's open this. Oh, okay. So our file is there. Now let's do a bit of cleanup. We will not need this, so I'll just delete this app.css. We don't need it. Let's go to app component. Don't need this state. Don't need these HTMLs. Don't need this, and also don't need this. Now what I do is, it's just to check. I will add also I will add a class tailwind. Maybe 3XL. We will give it a different color. Maybe sky blue, maybe something. Just to check like tailwind is working or not. So okay, yeah, this is working. So this color is on. Maybe change it to green so that we can see the actual change. Yeah. So this is working. This is set up. So now let's start creating our HTML first, and then we will add our uh, interactivity with the input and the buttons. So let's first add a h1, which will be get uh, trivia about the number. So this is what we want. Yeah, let's create a form. We'll have it so that we can have the enter press on submit. Let's give this placeholder, enter a number. Also give it a type of number. Sorry, so this is it, and also add a button. Let's import that. Uh, Button would be for submit. So let's just keep it as submit. Okay. So let's see how it is. My heart is not doing good. So let's give it the classes. So now what I want first what I want is I want to give it flex, flex column. Then I will give it as screen because I want it wanted to have uh, be in the center of the screen. And justify center. I think this is good. Let's see. Yeah, this is good. Now we have to give a width to this. We add another wrap it inside a div and give it a class of 1 by 3 would be good, I guess. Yeah, this is good. So now make it a bit more uh, attractive. It should look good. Yes, and we want here is we want flex. We will give it gap of 3. Mhm. Yeah, gap of 3 is good. And also item center. It should be centered. Okay, so this is okay. And why to have a margin before and after. So this is it. Yeah, this is it. Okay, this is also in the center. Now what we'll do is we will add the inputs, add the interactivity. Basically, we will add state to save the number which we get from input. Then we will add on click handler. So let's start with the on change. I mean the change of input values. So we will have to import QState. So in my previous video also I have mentioned like it is a good practice to uh, organize your imports. So first from node modules, then the absolute imports, and then with after one space, it will be the relative imports. So that makes it much more readable. So now what we do is we will initialize a state, and that will be null at the beginning, or maybe I can just keep it as a blank string. This will be number, and it will have an update function. Now add a handle number change. So whenever you name any function or variable, it should be descriptive. It should be kind of uh, it should be like very clear when somebody is reading your code. It should be very clear like what that function does, or what that variable stores, what value that variable stores. It should be uh, descriptive. So let's add it on change handler, and it will be handle number change. So basically what this gets is this will get event, and from event we will destructure the value from event dot target. We will get value, we will add it here. This is it. What we need to do is we will also pass this number as value, so that if we when we clear the value, it will be updated. It will just update it. If we don't pass it, once that value is all this value is cleared, then also it will have that from the memory of that input for and it will not be removed. We need to again do some action like getting the reference from that input and clearing that field. So for that, it is very easy to just have the value persisted in the input. Once this whatever the value whatever the value is in this state for number, so it will display that. If it contains value, it will show that value. If it does not contain any value, it will just not show that. So basically that is why we will pass this as this bit little bit. Okay, so this is also fine. Let's check we're getting the value correctly. Now what we need to do is we need to add an submit handler. So for adding a submit handler, we just need to add a type in our button, so it will be of submit, and we will add our handler in form directly, so that just we can use the enter press functionality as well. So it should call that on submit function when we click on the button or when we press enter in the keyboard on the keyboard. So that is why we will use it like this, and this handle submit will also get event, and we need to add a prevent default function so that it does not re-render or reload the browser. So this is why we will add this first, and just for now just console log the number which we have already updated in the state. So let's do that and pass the function on and on the form. It will have this. Let's check if this works or not. So 17. So this is where it is showing. And let's clear this. Let's We are getting the number. So if we don't have any number, maybe refresh this. We have a blank state. So it comes as blank. We need to handle this scenario as well. So let's first add an if value, sorry, number, if number. So if number is present, then only it will display, or else it will not go inside this block. So to test that, let's print it again and test this functionality first. So no prints are done, and to also confirm that, add an else block. No number, and if we add a number, we'll have the number display. So this validation is also done. So we basically don't need this else block in the code. Now let's import Axios. Import Axios, and we will keep our base URL also. So this is the API URL which we'll be using. I'll put this in description so that you guys can take, and also I'll maybe update this code in GitHub. So yes, so let's come back to this part. First, let's make this function as async. Now, what we need to do is to we need to call the Axios API. So this will be get function. Let's create a URL with this. Let's do a string interpolation. We'll use template literal here, and we will pass this base URL and then the number. Okay, so we have the string ready. We'll pass it over here, and from here we will get data, right? So when like we are making an API call here, so it should be in a try and catch block. Let's wrap this inside try catch block, So if there is any error, we will, for now, we'll just log this. Yes, we also need a finally block. I'll tell you why, but we will need this as well. So once we receive the data, we need to, save it somewhere and we need to display it. So for that, what we will do is we'll initialize one more state and we will keep the default value as null and name it as trivia and set trivia. Uh, and once we get the data, this API returns a string with the in the response, so we can just save it directly in this set function. So this is done till here, but we also want to show a loader. So for that, what we will do is we will add one more state where we will keep the default as false and name it as let's name it as is fetching. Set is fetching and is fetching. Yes. So what we'll do here is we will set this uh, true at when the function is called, or maybe after the check is done. Okay. And in the finally block, we will set this as false. So here this is why we needed finally, because if it is inside error or inside I mean if it is a success call or it sends an error, we need to specifically mention this, set this false in both this area. So instead of that, we'll use finally, because this block will run irrespective of the response. So whatever is returned, so it is success or an error, it will this finally block will run and this will set this as false. So our loader will get stopped and we can maybe show the data or the error. So whatever the response is, we can just show that. So here this structure is ready. Let's now add the loader. So if we need that, let's add a loader from this from ShadCN. So they have a good example in this skeleton. We'll just use this and we'll just take this code directly. This is the best part of ShadCN. I just love it because I can just copy these directly and I can just show it. I mean, I can just use it directly from the ShadCN page and I can make some modifications. So that is really nice. So this is the loader which is there. So now just add a condition to for when to show this. So we need to show only when the state is fetching. So this will only display this loader when we are fetching the data, right? And then we need to display the trivia. Once the data is there already, then we will have to show the trivia. So what we will do is when we have the trivia, we will show an alert. I mean, we'll use alert from ShadCN. Let's let's take this and yeah, let's copy this. So this gives us error because of the blank object which we have left the blank with the blank parenthesis. And then, don't need any icon, just import it. So imports are done. Just have to now organize the imports And once that is done, I'll just update this. So this will be trivia, and whatever the trivia we have, I'll just show it directly. So this is it. So this is it. And one more thing, when the trivia is getting updated, let's say we have some data already. Let's see it in action. Move this. Let's test this. So I've entered the value as 34. Press enter. So it shows the loader and then the number. Now what happens is if I change the number, this will show the loader and it will have the previously updated trivia once the loading is finished. So this API is working very fast. So that is why it is. I mean, we are not able to see that issue. Like what I want to show you. Let's do a throttling and let's make it a slow API. So now if I change the number update. See, this is what I was talking about. So we need to have something like it should be when the number is updated. This trivia should not be displayed because the number is changed, and I don't want the previously updated values to display. What I'll do is I'll just simply add set this null when I'm making the call. So before setting this as true, I'll just update this as null. And once the data is updated, it will display the data. So let's now test over that same scenario. So I will get to 58. So that removes the previously added trivia, and we are able to see the new updated. See, this is what I was talking about, and this is working fine. So this is basically this was it. So what I wanted to show you was the handling the input change, managing the form on submit handler, and also setting up Tailwind and ShadCN UI with Vite.js. We have achieved that, and I hope you like the video. If you like the video, please share it with your colleagues and friends. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any question or any doubt, please comment on the video.